If you like what I do, consider joining my channel or donating to my coffee. Links in the description. Welcome back to my Metroidvania demo impression series where I give my impressions on Metroidvania demos, and it's a series. Today's game is Shellbound, a mucus tale, or maybe it's just Shellbound. We'll see how things go. But anyway, I'll have the opening playing in the background, and as you can plainly see, the game's animation and art style are gorgeous. It's like the golden age of Disney or something. I just can't peel my eyes away from it. Anyway, you play as a little dude. I don't really know what he is, but there's something about him that makes other characters uneasy. And your little dude just so happened to appear when the world started moving. Yeah, I've neglected to say this up to this point, but the entire game takes place on the back of a snail that's been slumbering for centuries. And with its awakening and moving, lots of ominous things are starting to go down. As you'd expect, that gorgeousness from the opening is maintained in the actual gameplay, with bright particle effects floating about and pretty environments. I think that's what really caught my attention with Shellbound. It's such a beautiful looking game, and the environments are so creative and arresting. For instance, this is the first screen in the game, and I just stood there and watched this snail inch off into the distance. It's really cool. Shellbound really has a sense of place thanks to these creative backdrops. Here's another excellent example of the environment blowing me away. It's this giant tentacle milling about in the background. It scared me as much as it sparked my curiosity. Same with the heart in the background at Copper City. This entire biome had me captivated, both with its environment and with its mechanics, and then blew me away when it mixed the two. What do I mean by that? Essentially, you get a remote control you can use to turn on and off the city's electricity so you can power elevators, and what the button on the remote actually does is moves a giant mechanical arm in the background to touch the snail's heart that harnesses energy. It's so cool to control something so huge in the background with the press of a button. And though I could probably go on and on about the game's presentation, it's really the gameplay you all are most interested in. So, let me be the first to tell you that moving around with your little dude feels great. Controls are tight, and he's very responsive. Jumping and attacking feels great, and using the abilities you unlock along the way make getting around this world both easy and stylish. You get an air dash, a double jump, a wall run, and a ceiling cling. Getting around the snail is not an issue, and I cannot wait to see where the level design goes in the future. Shellbound has a few other mechanics for you to play with. There's a drill you can use in battle and to break rocks to uncover resources, which is cool, but the real interesting mechanic at play here is called parasitize. It's like parasite, but it's also a verb. It's similar to Biomorph's morph mechanic in that you can take control of an enemy once you defeat them or crystallize them in Shellbound's case. However, parasitizing in Shellbound comes with a time limit, so once you take over an enemy, you gotta position yourself quickly to take advantage of the host's abilities. These lead to some fun and challenging sequences where you have to jump from flying enemy to flying enemy in order to navigate some narrow, spiky obstacles. Again, I cannot wait to see where the devs take the level design in the full release. The last interesting mechanic I experienced was enemy evolution. Basically, if you kill enough of the same enemy, they'll evolve into a stronger form. In the demo, I saw a worm enemy evolve into a flying enemy, which I could then parasitize to reach new areas. This is a very unique mechanic that, again, has me excited to see where the level design will go. All in all, in the hour I played Shellbound, I got to experience an incredible depth of movement options that made me feel like I could go anywhere in this game. And that's exciting because there's a lot to discover in this world. I found HP upgrades, quest items to befriend NPCs, and just some really weird NPCs. Shellbound has a fun sense of humor that legit got a few laughs out of me. I was a fan of the tentacles that tied axes to themselves to attack you. That's just so goofy, and I love it. Combat overall felt pretty good. Your little dude's basic ground combo feels natural, and he gets some airtime for his aerial attacks. He comes with a parry that I just didn't use because I never use parries, but I used his abilities you can find. They're basically spells with cooldowns. You can find a mucus explosion, which sounds awful, but it is super powerful, a projectile, and a shield that blocks incoming damage. I found these abilities to be effective, easy to use, and a lot of fun to use against the demo's final boss, who was super tough, by the way. When it comes to criticism, I don't really have much. The game ran perfectly smoothly throughout, and it feels like a pretty good vertical slice of the experience. The world and presentation grabbed me, your little dude's movements are clean and responsive, and I got to experience many of the game's mechanics. There are some animation hiccups, which is to be expected on such an early build of the game, so I'm definitely not going to hold that against the game at this point in its development. My only real concern is that I'm afraid people will hear the name and might not take the game seriously or disregard it as something too goofy. Why don't you all tell me what you thought about the gameplay I showed off? And if you have any questions, drop them down there too. I'm sure the devs would love to hear from the community. Anyway, I'm very much looking forward to Shellbound and want to thank the folks over at Fake Lobster for providing me an early build of their demo. If you're really rad, you should head over to Steam right now and wishlist it. I'll put a link in the description and pinned comment. And just to clarify, this is not a sponsored video. I just really think this game is super cool. Thanks for watching. Do all the YouTube things to help me out, like, sub, ring the bell, you know the stick. There's hyping videos now, so if you want to do that, consider doing that, that'd be really cool. Until next time, later nerds.